Amanda, welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me, Jim. This feels appropriate. You and I have been working on this now for almost 7 months. So this is our big day.
It is. Well, and it's Richard's big day too. I know that he was
Yes.
very, very bummed that he couldn't be here, but of course we owe a lot to our chair. But I'm so glad to talk with you, Amanda. I know that you actually moved across the country to come here and do this job, and we are so, so grateful for the expertise and leadership that you bring here. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Tell us about the new training program. What makes this different than any other training program?
I was really focused on this was trying to create an ecosystem. So a thing that lives and thrives together. It's not just siloed. It's also making sure that everybody is, singing from the same songbook, that we're all getting a solid foundation and understanding what the DFL is, where the DFL is going, where we've been, and how we do the best work possible. And there's so many different parts of politics and organizing that sometimes it can be incredibly overwhelming. And so it's very intentional in explaining what they are, what particular roles are, and how you can continue to build them, or move up in the party, learn more things. So it's pretty exciting. What we're doing now is, as you mentioned, we have 3 tracks. The first track that we have is called the Essentials track. Nobody is required to do any of these as a track. We do have certificates at the end if you do, which is pretty exciting. But you also have the opportunity to just sort of pop in if this is, you want to know a little bit more, but we do suggest everyone starts with the essentials. If you want to move up, let's say you want to get more involved with organizing, you're a new officer in the party, you plan to run for office, or you want to be senior campaign staff, we have tracks for those as well. Those are called Learn, Lead, and Win. And obviously, all of this is to help us win big in November. Um, the goal really is that Minnesotans learn how the party works, develop leadership skills, and organize for November and beyond, because we're not just stopping here.
I love that. I love that. Amanda, you're so incredibly thoughtful. That's one of the things I really enjoy the most when we chat. I know you always make me think more deeply about things. To tell me about who this is designed for. Say you are somebody new who has never volunteered, never gotten involved with a party before. Is this for those people? Is it for experienced leaders, the people that have been part of the party for 15 or 20 years, or who is it really aimed for?
It's really aimed for everybody. And I know sort of some of the questions can be, how can you have a first timer and somebody who's running for office, who's been in the party for a while, part of the same training system? That is why it's taken, we've been working on this for 7 months. We want to make sure there is a spot for everybody. The DFL was incredibly intentional last year in deciding we want to bring somebody on who does training. We also wanted to brought on organizers earlier than we normally do. These things have really helped lay the foundation. Folks know where to go now when they have organizers. Now with the training, we're introducing everybody with that as well. But the idea is, you're coming here for the first time. I know this is my first, election cycle in Minnesota. The amount of things that I just walk around the office going, hey, somebody tell me what this is. I don't know. So there are a lot of different parts. We have caucuses, we have conventions, we have state conventions, then we have a primary. I mean, it's a bigger thing. So we have a spot for folks to do that. We want people to feel welcome, because the ability to understand what's happening is really what drives folks then to feel comfortable to get more involved. Equally, we've got folks who, let's say, they're our party leaders. And in fact, right now we are electing a lot of other, new party leaders as part of our conventions. So we want to make sure that everybody there has all the information so they understand, as a party leader, what is my role and responsibility and how do I do this? Same thing for folks who want to run for office. But it's designed so that everybody has a place to enter wherever their interest is here in the DFL, and they also have somewhere to grow. That it's not, I took one class, I understand how this big pyramid of our party structure works, but I don't know what's next. It's to continue to answer those sort of questions about curiosity. And once people understand that, it tends to drive them to getting more involved.
That's great. What are some examples of things that people will be able to learn through this program?
So, we've got an sort of that beginning of where to welcome to the party. Here's what we have going on. We'll also explain things like organizing. It's something that we talk about a lot here at the DFL. That's what makes the DFL so incredibly successful. But what exactly is organizing? things like, using Van, which is our, our voter databases. We use those when we go and knock doors. How do you knock doors? How do you plan a special event? How do I run a convention? These are all things that we have. How do I run for office? And there's a lot of questions about that. I think that, that's a big one for folks. In fact, that's how I first came to know the DFL. Is I was running a campaign for the first time, and there was no resources out there. I ended up coming across Paul Wellstone's information, and that is sort of what put this on my radar. Because what size flyers do you buy? How do you buy ads? How do you set up a website? How do you have a platform? So all of that will be able to be found as part of this training. But I also want to let folks know that we will continue to do live trainings. So this isn't just going to be everybody goes to a website. It's just you and your computer. No, building our community is part of it too. And we are going to continue to have these live trainings throughout the months leading up to the election. So not only can we learn and answer the moment of, is this something we need to talk about right now, but folks can ask questions as well.
And Amanda, we know and talk a lot that it's not just what you do, but it's how you do it. So I want to ask you about culture. What kind of culture do you think can be built through a program like this?
I think that one of my absolute favorite things about the DFL as a party is that we build radical hospitality in from day one. Radical hospitality isn't just looking up and saying hi when somebody walks in. It's being incredibly intentional about the space that we make, about making sure that we have accessibility so that folks all feel comfortable coming, whether it's coming to meetings in terms of its accessibility, but also if folks don't know how to participate, we are not making them accessible. And when we build a culture like that, we are stronger together. We start to understand each other better. But the other thing is we are asking voters to trust our party. And if we are not a strong organization, we can't convey that to voters well. So it's building up our own strength so we can best serve our communities.
Fun fact for people on the call, Amanda has a sound effect when she says radical hospitality. I won't
I
make you do it
do.
on the call, Amanda, but maybe at some training, if people sign up, they might get the pleasure of hearing your sound effect there.
Yes.
There we go. Amanda, I know you led a lot of the work that we did, and there was a lot of people that really contributed to the work we done on the Constitutional Observer trainings, a lot of partner organizations, a lot of folks here at the DFL. How does the program that we're building now take that momentum that we saw there and really channel it going forward?
Well, I think we all knew last January after the inauguration that the work we were going to have to do was going to be very different, and we need more hands-on work. And we saw almost 50% of our caucus goers were first-time caucus goers, because I think caucus also was part of that constitutional observer momentum that we were seeing. We were seeing people from all over the state come to our constitutional observer training. Not only that, we were having people from out of state. Even my family came to some of those from California. So when we have 50% of our caucus goers who are first time caucus goers, that's huge. We have 20%, over 20% that identified as sort of swing voters or previously were Republicans. It is because people want something to do. They have motivation, they want to get involved, and we need to meet that moment. So what do we do with that energy? We have a plan. I am an Elizabeth Warren girly. We always have a plan. So we're going to turn this energy into, involvement. How do you get involved in the party? How do you organize in your community? How do we build the skills that help us win the election? I am incredibly proud and honored to have been part of that constitutional observer training. I think it's what helped me mentally get through what was just a horrible time. And although we're not done with it, but I am acutely aware of how much people want to be involved. And so we are trying to meet that as much as we can and as quickly as we can with this program.
Thank you, Amanda. Before we let you go, is there any last thing that you want Minnesotans to know about getting involved right now?
We have a place for you. It does not matter if you're just here to learn or if you want to run for office. We have a place and we are excited to have you. We are unveiling our new training hub today, as a matter of fact. So you can visit that. It's dfl.org, Training Minnesota to Win Together. And you can get signed up. You can start checking things out in there. Our learning paths are up, and go ahead and share it with folks who are interested as well.
I love it. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you for your work. Thank you for joining us on the DFL Daily today.
Thanks, Jim.